Hi, Ken and Nick from FasterSafer.com, and we're here today to talk to you a little bit about our controls, mainly initial throttle. And we find that as guys go quicker and quicker and quicker, they think they've got to get more aggressive with the controls, when it's actually the opposite. If they're using a lot of lean angle points, it's very tough to use a lot of throttle points. So we want to be able to smooth those controls out. I know it sounds, Nick, it's counterintuitive to think, what do you mean I have to be softer on the controls to go faster? So how does that work?
Here's what we're thinking about. You come in the corner, you let go of the brakes when you're happy with your speed, and the next thing you're going to do is pick up that throttle. Body position is a huge deal. If you're right and got a lot of weight on your hands, you're up on top of the bike, it's hard to pick up a little bit of throttle. So let's make sure we're Grand Prix with our body position off to the side, putting the weight on our feet, not on our hand, and we start to sneak open that throttle. If you're still having trouble, tighten up your stomach muscles before you pick up your throttle. Literally clench your stomach, weight comes off the hand, you'll be a little nicer initial throttle. The whole idea here is we've got to start the weight transfer to the back, put the weight through the shock absorber into the tire, make the tire contact patch bigger.
So how this really starts is, as Nick said, as you're on your brakes, you get off your brakes, you're happy with your speed, as you want to get that throttle open, really think about tightening up your core to have the weight come off of your hands so you can really smooth out that throttle application. It's shocking actually how little throttle it takes for the engine to rev up. Nick, can you show us how this works?
We're on FZ1, Yamaha FZ1 1000, and Andre, come on in here and take a good look here.
Watch Nick's hand as the bike revs up. Bike's revving to 13,000 RPMs almost, and you literally can barely see his hand moving. It's amazing how subtle that initial throttle needs to be and how much the motor will respond to it.
All you guys coming off of slower bikes, you're coming off a 250 engine, SV650. Yeah, this is maybe 6 horsepower. Now you get onto a big bike. Of course, the bigger the bike, the more this website counts, the more that our information counts. So now you're getting on a bike where this movement is now 40 horsepower, and that's why for all you young riders out there, all riders moving up to bigger and faster machinery, that initial throttle's got to be so gentle that you saw how slowly my hand moves. If you really pay attention to Grand Prix or AMA Superbike, World Superbike, where they have TC devices, here's what they do, folks. They pick the throttle up so gently, they load the tire, they give the data system something to work with, and then the power comes on.
Yeah, and whether you're riding on the street or the track, if you're going to take that throttle and you're going to use 30 throttle points initially, you've lost the ability to adjust between 1 and 29. We want to sneak that throttle open and you realize, oh look, my decision point in my apex, I can use more throttle, I've got the ability to do that. But what you don't want to do is be able to go to 30 points and realize, oh my gosh, that's too much, and now you've lost that ability to adjust.
And we'll close this up with a couple ways you'll know initial throttle is too much. First of all, you're laying in the dirt because your bike stepped out and threw you over the top and you high side and you crashed your brains out. That initial throttle is too much. But on a serious note, if your initial throttle is too much, your forks extend quickly and your bike runs wide, you have trouble getting to your apexes because your initial throttle is too quick. Now it could be your head's too high, so your head's too high for that initial throttle, but you get an idea that initial throttle, forks extend, bike runs wide, and that's a good indicator. We tell our students, right, if you turn the bike in, you let go of your brakes, you grab the throttle and the bike runs wide, you're on the way to a high side, so that's how we can all start to realize that initial throttle's got to smooth out and be more gentle.
So on your next ride, really pay attention to how that initial throttle happens, and watch what happens to your exits. I swear they'll get better.